Hi everyone, welcome back. This is week 53 of my social isolation get ready with me's. I've been promising about doing a tutorial with the, is that the right language? I promised that I would do a tutorial with the Tarte and Grav3yardgirl Swamp Queen palette, so that's what I'm going to be using today. And initially I was kind of going back and forth on what colors to use, because inevitably whenever I pull out this palette I always use like the warm tones, and then I had this moment earlier today where I was like, oh, look at your nail polish color, that kind of matches the purples. Yeah, well, I'm still going to use the orange warm tones because that's what I'm drawn to in this palette. So it's going to clash with my nails, but whatever. So despite me trying to like go a little bit off course and do something different with this palette, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to use my favorites. I am definitely late filming this. It is currently Tuesday after work. Which is, I should have already posted a video today, but I did not get to filming on the weekend. I just didn't feel great, frankly, as a result of having a little bit too much vodka Saturday night, and then I woke up Sunday, which is when I normally film, and was like, well, this is not happening. So I had a 4-day weekend, which was nice. St. Patrick's Day was March 17th, which was Wednesday, and I always take the day after St. Patrick's Day off. It's just a habit of mine. But because it was Thursday, the day off, I was like, well, just take Friday too. And let me tell you, I look forward to days off even more now that I'm working from home. It makes absolutely no logical sense, really, because I'm home all the time, but days off at home, even though I'm here like 24/7, are so freaking enjoyable. So that was really nice. But as a result of COVID, going back to work every time just gets harder and harder. And it's not fun, guys. It's not fun. I can't wait till this is over. Oh. So I didn't do anything exciting for St. Patrick's Day. I just tinted my own beer and wine green. Did I have the green wine this time, or was it just beer? Tinted my Corona beer green, basically. Played World of Warcraft, and that was about it. Oh, I would also like to announce that I have cleaned my brushes. Look at that. Look how exciting that is. Now I'm going to have to wonder how long it's going to be before I clean them again, after I've used them all up. Okay, Swamp Queen palette. I do like the same bloody thing every time, but you know what? I'm doing it again. So first, this packaging is so shiny, so it's going to reflect a lot, but I'm first going to go in with, oh, I can't even tell, Natural Peaches, which is that one right up there. And I'm putting that through my crease. So I finally finished Dawson's Creek. This must be like my third or fourth time trying to watch the entire thing. I just always got stuck somewhere around the university years. I was like, I'm not that into it. But I ended up watching it while I was playing World of Warcraft, like just doing stuff on my own. So that actually made me actually finish it this time around, because I don't think I could have just sat on my sofa and watched it directly straight through on the TV. I would have been a little bit too bored of it. And it was nice to actually finish it, because I think I mentioned before, I did watch it when I was younger, back in the 90s. I just never finished the bloody show. There were bits and pieces that I did remember from the last season, so nothing was really that much of a shocker. Except, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Dawson's Creek, although it's very old at this point, so I really shouldn't have to put a spoiler tag on it, I totally forgot that Jen died. I was like, what? Oh, that was a bit of a shock. So I wasn't expecting that, except once it happened, I was like, oh yeah, I remember something like that. It did seem a little bit strange to like just offer in the last episode, but oh well. Okay, for the lid, I'm going to be taking Sassy Bun, which is a phenomenal color. I love this thing so much. Oh, it's so pretty. What else am I watching for Netflix? Okay. I started watching Emily in Paris, and I had read, I feel like, a lot of articles saying how bad it was and how rude it was, I think, to French culture. And I think the impression was like this American girl comes into Paris at a new job and tries to like change the way the French world works or whatever. And I kind of see what they're talking about. But honestly, it's a really fun show. Like, it doesn't have to be that serious, I don't think. I mean, come on, it's produced by, like, MTV Studios, okay? Like, this is not, like, I don't know, like, a really important type series, you know? Like, it's not going to be that thought-provoking. So I had actually been initially turned off by the series because there were so many people mad at the show, and I was like, okay, maybe it's not something I want to watch. And then I was like, oh, whatever. It does look kind of like fun to watch, and I put it on, and I think it's quite darling, to be honest. I mean, a lot of it's cringeworthy, don't get me wrong. A lot of it's silly. You know, some of her impressions of people are just a little bit out there, but it's also funny because it is so ridiculous at times. And even though it is cringeworthy, it is absolutely hilarious. So I don't know why people were so boo-hoo about it. I've been enjoying it. I haven't finished it yet. I binge watched about 7 episodes in one day. So like, I really liked it. And it was just, I don't know, I found it entertaining too. And I also like that not all of the French that they say is in subtitles. So I actually know what's going on some of the time without having to read something. Well, I wouldn't have to read it anyway because I am French Canadian, but it's nice to just hear French in the background sometimes without having it being directly translated on the screen. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and find the articles about people complaining about it, because I don't know if I'm missing something like seriously culturally inappropriate, because that's the feeling that I got off of these articles, with us. There was something wrong with what they were doing. But I've been enjoying it. Have you been watching it? Tell me what you think. Am I missing something, like some huge gaffe that I'm just not understanding? Because I've been really liking it. Okay, for the outer corner, I'm going to be taking Dog Man, which from what I remember was what she called her boyfriend, I think. I used to watch Graveyard Girl back in the day, but as things change and, you know, your personalities change and evolve over time, I just stopped watching her because she wasn't necessarily my style anymore. But I did like her content back in the day. She also had the most intensely blue eyes. I think there was debate too on whether or not they were real or contacts, but I think she swore up and down that they were real, which was just like, dang, good for you. Like, those are some impressively clear eyes. They just look like, they just look surreal. Like, it's unbelievably blue and crystal clear. Really, really gorgeous. Okay, and then I think to add a little bit of dimension, I'm going to take Sippy, and the same brush, I'm just going to put that at the very base of the lash line. Oh yeah, this one's got glitter in it, but it's that kind of glitter that just sort of like flakes off. You never really see it after you apply it, and it's gone in like 5 minutes. The weather has turned around dramatically in Toronto. It's like 14 degrees outside. It is too hot for me, okay, already. I went for a run on my lunch hour, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I got a sunburn. Like, I think I'm a little bit red through here. Yeah, I'm definitely red through there. Because I'm not used to running in anything above 5 degrees. So this is the time of year where I start to like burn if I don't put sunscreen on, which is just silly. It's only March, for crying out loud. For my brow bone highlight, I'm just taking Big Baby right here. Okay, I'm gonna add some wing liner, Physicians Formula Eye Booster, and then I'll zoom you back out and we'll finish up the face before going back to the eyes. Okay, for face, usual things here, Bourjois Healthy Mix Serum Foundation. I've been breaking out lately, which is kind of weird for me. I'm not too mad about it because I rarely break out, so I can suffer a few times a year. But I'm that kind of person that just rips my zits off. And then they form scabs, because I feel like, on me anyway, scabs heal so much faster than a zit that I let fester. So I just rip them right off. I had some more up here, but like, again, like I just like pulled them off, and they turned into a scab, and now to me they look like they've healed. There's some fascinating information about me for you. So to talk a little bit about World of Warcraft again. I'm sure you were waiting for that, weren't you? So I played WoW Classic, which is a very old game at this point, and we finally cleared Nax. I guess it was about 2 weeks ago now. We were a little bit slow on the server, so I was kind of like worried that we weren't going to clear it before WoW Classic Vanilla ended, because we're going into the next expansion soon, which is Burning Crusade, although we don't have a launch date for that. But what was nice about clearing Nax was I was the recipient of the legendary weapon, which is Atish in Nax, and with the KT kill, I could then forge the weapon, which was great. There's a lot of people out there really confused right now because they don't understand what I'm talking about. Basically, a guild has to build like a legendary weapon by killing a lot of bosses in a video game. And I was the person who was building this special weapon. And yeah, I got to do that relatively recently. I did film a video of it. It's literally just like a dump of screen grabbed like video content from us doing a dungeon and then turning it in and getting the thing. So it is on my channel. It's just hidden because nobody who watches this plays for makeup cares about that kind of stuff. But I did get a few hits on it because I posted it on Facebook, and I was surprised at the number of people that actually clicked through for it because I was not expecting that. So I'll link to that in the description bar down below in case you're interested in like seeing me play a video game. It doesn't have like the usual streamer setup where I'm like in the little corner and then the game is happening. It's literally just a 30-minute dump of me and my friends playing the game to get the item. So if you want to hear how I interact with other people or hear my friends, we did that as a group about a week ago. So that was nice. And to me, it's just nice to have like that memory of doing it all together in a video thing. Plus, their voices are in it as well. I didn't cut it out to music because sometimes I don't like that because while the music can be entertaining, what is this scabby thing? While the music can be entertaining, I don't get to remember what people said in the moment, so I just kept everybody's voices in there. There's nothing contentious, I promise. But yeah, I'll post that down below in case anybody's interested. Actually, I guess I can post the picture of the thumbnail here. My husband put it together based on what my character looks like in game and then like the little text on what my character's name is. Which I think a few people may or may not know, but I've used the name Nika for online stuff since the internet needed handles, right? So like I've been using this name since I was 12 years old, so a good 26 years of my life. And for this game, I just expanded it to Nikalia because I think Nika was already taken. So that's my internet handle that I still go by to this day. Okay, that's enough faffing around with the face. I find sometimes when I look back on editing footage and I notice that I've missed like a chunk, usually right here, maybe it's the other side, that I've missed with foundation. I'm like, how the heck did you not notice that while you were filming yourself? It's probably because I'm talking. Anyway, I'm always worried about like missing a chunk now after I look at footage and I'm like, hey, well, that was clearly a big spot you missed. Okay, for bronzer, I'm going in with my NYX matte bronzer. This is the shade Light. I wanted something that was a little bit more warmer toned, and this honestly seems to be my more like warm tone peachy side bronzer because I've got bronzers that are warm, but they lean more orange than they do peach, so I just like the more peach aspect to this one. Oh, on the note of WoW, I also play retail, in case anybody is familiar with that. And we cleared Heroic Sire also about 2 weeks ago. Man, we really just like busted out the end bosses in both guilds within like a week time span. Not bad. It's funny some of the crossover though between people who watch me for my makeup stuff and then tell me later on that they also play WoW. I'm always surprised at that. It's a good thing. It means that a few people know what I'm talking about. Okay, so for blush and bronzer, I'm pulling out my Jaclyn Hill face palette by Becca. Becca, who is now defunct as a brand, I feel like they kind of dug their own grave with that Zero foundation that was basically just a primer. What the heck were they thinking with that? But I really like their products. Like, I love their blushes that have all been discontinued long ago. I love the face palette. I know there was drama with Jaclyn Hill. Don't really want to get into that because who knows how much is true on either side. But I will say that even though I enjoy Jaclyn Hill as a personality, I find her so interesting to watch. Her makeup, I think, is flawless. And I'm always like super interested in kind of what she's doing. I don't know why I have this fascination with her, okay? I really don't understand it. However, I don't trust her. So how weird is that to be fascinated by somebody, be interested in what they're doing, but then realize that you'll no longer buy any of her products. Like, I just will not touch her stuff with a 10-foot pole. Like, ever since that, was it the lipstick debacle, or was it like that second Morphe palette that came out? Or like, there have just been so many things that even though I'm intrigued by her, I will not buy anything that she puts out anymore. However, this face palette was bloody lovely. So if you don't remember it, which would surprise me, it had 3 blushes on top and then 2 bronzers, 2 highlighters, Champagne Pop, and then Prosecco Pop. I never fell in love with Prosecco Pop. It's just a little bit too gold for me. But I do love me some Champagne Pop, and I love the blushes in here. I don't really remember what brush I use for these blushes. I'm just going to take this Real Techniques one, and I'm going in with, what are you called? Pamplemousse, which is this color up here, and if you're not familiar, that means grapefruit in French. And, oh yeah, I always forget how pigmented these are. And I think I went a bit heavy-handed, so I'm just going back in with my sponge. No more foundation on it, just whatever's left. Dabbing around the edges. And then I'm going to take Champagne Pop. Actually, these look so janky, by the way, because I dropped this palette and they both broke. But I pressed them no problem, and thankfully the blushes didn't break. Oh. There's a reason this highlighter was so popular. It's just so freaking beautiful. I love that. I also haven't pulled it out in a long time, so having it out now reminds me that I should use it more. You know, this is that kind of time where I should probably put concealer on that thing, but I'm just going to layer it up with foundation. Because I didn't bring concealer into this room because I never wear it. Okay, the other thing I'm going to do with the face is add glitter freckles. I haven't done this in ages, and I kind of wanted something a little bit extra on my face. So I'm taking this Tarteist Pro glitter liner. It's got 2 ends to it. This side has the more like metallic type liner, and this one's more of a glitter one. I'm just going to use both because I think it'll add a little bit of nice dimension. So it's kind of like a rose goldish shade, and it's just one of those dip pot things. So I'm just going to start dabbing it everywhere. Am I bringing my glitter freckles back now? Is this what I'm doing? I just think it's fun. It's just so fun. I remember the first time I wore these out, we went to a restaurant with my friends. I remember Julie looking at my face being like, what's going on there? What are you doing? It's like I'm wearing glitter freckles. And I always cover that broken blood vessel I've got there with glitter freckles. It's so handy for that. I still don't know how that happened. That happened like over a decade ago, and I do not know why that blood vessel broke. Okay, that's plenty, I think, for the metallic. I'm going to go in with the glitter side and just apply a few more. Just adds a little bit of dimension. They're close to the same color, but this just adds a little bit more sparkle. IMO. God, it's been what, like 2 years since I've done this? Okay, time to finish up the eyes. Let me zoom you back in. Going to keep this super simple because I do not want to faff around with this much at all. I'm just going to go in with Dog Man on a pencil brush. Oh, I should not have done the freckles first because I'm about to put my little cloth down, and hopefully they've dried. Well, let's see. I'm just going to be really sloppy with this because I just want a little bit of a haze of color here. Okay, there we go. Wipe the rest off on my Kleenex and then just back and forth. That's all I want. I just want a little bit under there. Oh, by the way, the reason I didn't use the blush, bronzer, and highlighter in this palette is because I hate them. They're just too orange. I don't like the pink because it doesn't go with the rest of the colors, and the highlighter is chunky and flaky with glitter in it, and I'm going to put it on the inner corner of my eye, but I do not want that on my cheek. Okay, so speaking of that highlighter, that's called Gator Wings. I'm taking a really tiny brush, picking that up, and then putting that on the inner corner here. It's great as an inner corner highlight, but for whatever reason, that on my cheekbone, like at the top of my cheekbone, just looks awful. And like, I'm not adverse to having a glittery cheek either, but there's something about that formula that I do not like anywhere on my own cheeks. I'm also going to be going in with my INGLOT Kohl pencil in the shade 05, and I'm just putting that on my waterline. Okay, you know the drill here. I'm going to put on my mascara, my eyebrows, and some false lashes, and then I'll be right back. Okay, to finish up with the lips, I'm going to use one of my favorite lipsticks that was in a project pan for 2020, but obviously we know what happened to 2020, so I never got to finish it. It's the Too Faced Coral Fire lipstick. It's their La Creme formula, which I believe they've discontinued, which sucks because it's amazing. This is all I've got left of it. It will not turn up anymore, and it is a beautiful shade. Okay, and there we have the finished look with the Swamp Queen palette. This is pretty much the exact same look I duplicate every time I go back to this palette, just because I really like the combination. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I almost never touch these purples, just because I find the other colors so enticing. And I've had this, I don't know how long I've had it. Is there a year on the back of this palette? There is not. I have no idea how long I've had it. It's probably been 5-6 years maybe? Is it longer than that? Anyway, the colors are still great. They work just fine, no issues. Bit of like powderiness when you tap your brush into it, the product, but like I don't care about that. That's fine by me. And I'm pretty sure they've always done that too. So that's it for the look for week 53. Thank you so much for joining me today. I did miss Tuesday's video, obviously, because it's being posted on Thursday, but I am about to go film a haul, so I'll post that on Friday as like a makeup video for the fact that I missed Tuesday's video. And also, I really want to film my haul so that I can go use all the products in there. Spoiler alert, there's a lot of bath bombs from JoJo's because she launched her spring collection and I bought a ton of stuff. Okay, gonna end it there. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.